Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to episode number 3 of the tummy tuck and breast augmentation series. So today is 10 days post-op. If you haven't already watched episode number 1 or episode number 2, so episode number 2 was surgery day and the first kind of 5 days of recovery, click somewhere up here. You will be able to access it because definitely want you to kind of like have the understanding of the background of my story if you haven't already watched those. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. I am Millie Cvjetkovic. I am an online physique coach and I'm also a physique competitor, and I post loads of health, fitness, training, lifestyle tips here on my YouTube, as well as the fact that I'm vegan, so I do lots of vegan full days of eating and then also document my bodybuilding progress. So let's talk about the fact that we're day number 10 and the last time that I updated you guys was day number 5. So there's been a bit of a discrepancy between the last time that I gave an update, and there's a good reason for that. If you obviously watched the last episode, you would have seen that things were pretty smooth sailing by the end. I got my drain taken out. I was able to stand pretty much upright and I was back to feeling myself. I think I stopped taking painkillers around that time as well. So the pain has subsided. Things were going swimmingly until there were a few days where I was hit with, let's just say, some struggles that I've finally got through the end of. And I am going to update you guys on what those struggles were and how I've kind of navigated around it, because yes, it was not a pleasant few days. But first, I want to take you guys along with me because I'm going to get my dressings changed. So still 10 days post-op, I've still got kind of like dressings over the incision wounds or incision sites on my breast, underneath my boobs, because that's where the implants were put, and then also my tummy tuck scar, and then the belly button. I'm literally covered in dressings. I still have been, and I probably still will be for another maybe week or so until they are taken off and they're happy with how all the incision sites have healed. So I'm going to take you guys along with me, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty as to what the deal was with things not going too well. Dressings all changed, things are looking good. I'm probably going to end up having them taken off around, I think, in another like 5 days or so time, because I'll have an appointment with Dr. Matteo just to kind of like review everything, make sure that everything's okay, because it's currently like the lead up to Christmas. I think it's like the 23rd today. And so I'm going to go see Dr. Matteo around the 27th, the 28th, which is probably going to be when the dressings are taken off. So things are looking good, which is great. Now let's dive into what happened when it came to something quite unexpected. I say unexpected, but in hindsight, it's not so unexpected when it came to a bit of a blip in my recovery. So to those of you who might not be aware, I have inflammatory bowel disease. It's an autoimmune disease where essentially my body sometimes detects that my gut or my digestive system, particularly my large intestine, has foreign objects in there, or that it is a foreign object. And so my body attacks it and it gets very, very inflamed and it causes horrible, horrible symptoms and makes me feel terrible. So this is something that I kind of worried would perhaps flare up, because you go through periods of, you know, where that's flaring up and it's bad, or periods where it's calm and it's technically fine. I was worried that that could flare up from the stress of the surgery, from putting my body under a lot of pressure. But what I totally forgot, or just didn't even think about in the lead up to the surgery, was that of course, because they're going to be operating my body, they're going to be cutting me open, they're going to be using tools and doing, you know, loads of fun stuff that produces a great result. I have to go on antibiotics. Immediately after the surgery, you are on intravenous antibiotics, or at least I was on intravenous antibiotics for the first 2 days that I was in hospital. And then I went home with a course of antibiotics, and I was starting to kind of like notice a little bit of digestive discomfort. I think toward the end of the last video, around like day number 5, I was like, oh, my stomach's not feeling great. I think it's the antibiotics, because I've had this before when I've been on courses of antibiotics, that it's kind of flared my stomach up. But let me tell you that the days after I filmed that vlog, oh my God, my stomach was ruined. Just for a bit of context, your gut can't digest all food alone. the good gut bacteria that you have in your gut, it's a chain of different organisms, different bacteria that fully digest all of the food, particularly like fruit and veg, fiber. And when you take antibiotics, it kills all of the good gut bacteria. It kills all the bacteria pretty much, in your body, both good and bad. And that impacts your immune system, your digestive system. And let's just say, like, I had really bad stomach cramps, really bad symptoms. I felt really low in energy. Anything that I ate went right through me. One night, I pretty much spent the whole night on the toilet. And I just felt so weak and so depleted, just because my body really needs a good, healthy gut microbiome, particularly when I have already these digestive issues. And so it wasn't great. I basically got to, a point where I was like, right, I need to start taking some Imodium, because I was just becoming dehydrated. I'm really not feeling great with the fact that I couldn't basically digest any food. And so what I want this video to be about is basically to give you an idea of kind of like what you're going to need to expect and prepare for should you ever go through these surgeries, in terms of like how you should be eating. One, to help promote good gut bacterial growth and to make sure that you are in a position where you're not suffering to the extent that I did, but also that you're promoting healing, that you're promoting your recovery being really fast when it comes to the type of macronutrients that you're getting in. As well as that, you're going to be swollen, you're going to be inflamed, your body's already inflamed from the surgery, and the antibiotics are going to promote more inflammation in the body. An interesting fact is that when your body has good gut bacteria and a good healthy population of gut bacteria from you eating well, exercising well, managing your stress, sleeping well, like when you look after yourself and you're a physically healthy, fit person, the gut bacteria, it communicates very well with your immune system, and it makes sure to kind of say, right, this is a foreign object and this is something which is fine or should be in the body. But when you've got not a very balanced or healthy gut flora or gut microbiome, those signals become mixed, and the signals with your immune system become quite mixed, where your gut can report that there are foreign objects in your gut when there actually aren't, and then it starts to attack your own tissues, promote more inflammation, and that then triggers, especially with my inflammatory bowel disease, a worse kind of effect. So you need to know how, after a course of antibiotics and after an intense surgery, to be really eating well, supplementing well with the appropriate things that are going to help bring down the inflammation, bring down the swelling, eliminate lots of water retention, and genuinely just promote a healing and happy environment in your body, which is why I'm going to take you very, very quickly through like a day of eating that I did when finally my stomach had settled a little bit and I could keep some food down. Because that day of eating, I made sure to get in probiotics, I made sure to get in prebiotics, which are food that good gut bacteria feed on. And also, to those of you, as I said, who are interested from either a vegan or vegetarian perspective, how do I get in enough protein to make sure that I'm actually, repairing and recovering from these big kind of like wounds that essentially your body has after a surgery. So I'm going to take you through that because I think it's going to be really helpful. So let's start off with the full day of eating. One thing that's going to be important to talk about to those of you who might not know is that when you are recovering from a surgery, your body's demands for energy are going to be a little bit greater than what your kind of demands would be if you were just to maintain your body weight. Keep in mind, you're not going to be moving much the first few days, so you don't need to eat excess of food, but you do need to eat enough food and good quality food to actually be able to, recover appropriately. So don't think that your body needs tons and tons of food to recover. Just make sure that you're probably eating thereabouts at maintenance, if not a little bit above maintenance, because it's really going to mean that you're not piling on weight or piling on extra unnecessary body fat whilst you are recovering and a little bit less mobile. But try to get back on your feet as soon as you can. You're doing light exercise and walking. And let's run through what my kind of like macro targets are. So in terms of protein, I'm eating thereabouts 1 gram per pound of body weight. So 130 grams of protein. I'm having 200 grams of carbohydrates and 45 grams of fat. So what that looked like for me on a day of eating was oats, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of peanut butter, some blueberries, and then I also had that with some EAAs. And I also have been taking L-glutamine, a great supplement for gut health, good amino acid to take, and then still keeping up with my creatine intake. Then for my next meal, I had some peas, potato, and some Linda McCartney sausages. Nice meal that's high in protein. I'm spacing my protein equally throughout the day in good kind of 25 to 30 gram servings to spike muscle protein synthesis, to spike the recovery and repair of new tissue. So that's going to be really, really important for you to think about. The third meal that I had was tofu with a little bit of peanut butter on top, some edamame beans, and some rice. Rice nice and easy to digest. Tofu is a good source of complete protein, and so are the soybeans, because tofu is made from soybeans, and I've had some edamame beans, which are soybeans, on the side. And then finally, the last meal that I had was some soy-based yogurt, banana. I had some kind of like protein-based cereal and then an apple as well. So what you can see here is I've had blueberries, edamame beans, peas, banana, apple, potato, rice. Like these are all good nutrient dense foods, and it's helped me hit my macro spot on, nice and voluminous foods. So this is how you want to be eating. You want to be eating to nourish your body. You need high protein, you need lots of micronutrients, you need fruits and veggies, you need to be healthy when it comes to recovering well from the surgery. If you're going to sit and eat shit on top of a gut or a digestive system that's been through, you know, a really hard time with the antibiotics, you're just going to feel terrible. So please guys, don't do that to yourself. I am feeling so much better after, you know, 3 days of feeling really rough by eating this way and also supplementing appropriately. So do you want to know which supplements you definitely should be taking to reduce bruising, swelling and inflammation? Well, wait no longer, because I'm going to tell you that as well. So when it comes to supplements, I've kind of split them into 4 distinct categories. So firstly, what we've got is the category which is going to be anti-inflammatory to reduce inflammation, to reduce swelling, water retention, all of those important things, because at the end of the day, your body's gone through something really intense and you are going to be swollen. You are going to see your body's natural response as it tries to repair your tissues. So just to help alleviate a little bit of that swollenness and inflammatory response, bromelain is very, very, very much so recommended, along with Arnica montana. These two often are paired together, but they both do all kind of achieve the same end result, which is ultimately regulates the body's inflammatory response and helps to bring down bruising and swelling. I've seen quite a lot from the research that I have done. Please, by the way, before you take any of this advice or you take these supplements, consult with your surgeon or your doctor or your healthcare professional. But from all the research that I have seen, a lot of surgeons will say you can start taking these supplements a week prior to your surgery and then continue taking them for a good 2 to 3 weeks afterwards. So I can't say whether they work. I've just taken them anyway, but I will say that I haven't really noticed a huge amount of bruising and swelling at all. But then again, the procedure that I had done, there wasn't much lipo or kind of certain procedures that would kind of cause more bruising, if that makes sense. Limited bruising, but there was a little bit of water retention. So then when it comes to the next category, so this is a category which is going to be for the repair and the recovery of your tissues. So what we've got is we've got certain minerals which are really, really important. So zinc is very, very important. Vitamin C is important. These all basically play an important role when it comes to the formation of new tissue, particularly when it comes to collagen production. And then also we've got collagen as well. So having something which either helps to form collagen or a collagen supplement is very, very important, because ultimately we're talking about repairing tissue and your body needs to have all of the appropriate, you know, vitamins, minerals and elements that are required to form new tissue. And don't forget protein. That's why I spoke about high protein diet. So those are very, very important. I've got a supplement which you guys can probably see is quercetin mixed with vitamin C. Quercetin kind of bridges 2 gaps, along with the fact that it does help with the inflammatory response from the body, but it also plays a role when it comes to the recovery and the repair of those new tissues. So those are very important. And then just talking about kind of like baseline supplements, comprehensive multivitamin and mineral is very important. Omega-3 supplement, if you don't have oily fish twice per week as a minimum, is very important. And then I've got a turmeric supplement, which is like another anti-inflammatory, but has other benefits as well. So these are just baseline supplements that I would take anyway. But if you're not already taking these, to just guarantee that you've got all of the baseline nutrients that your body needs, and, you know, going without your omega-3s, you're literally limiting your body's health when it comes to brain function, heart function, hormone function. You know, anti-inflammatory response is also important. They're also intertwined. So those 3 are staples that you should be taking anyway, but definitely should be taking those if you're going through any kind of post-operative surgery, as you need your immune system to be firing appropriately. And then we've got the holy grail of what happens, or what is going to be needed after a course of antibiotics. So we've got the digestive supplements. What I am showing you here is literally just probiotics and then a supplement that's got some prebiotics. So probiotics are good gut bacteria. You want to take these probiotics after your antibiotics, or perhaps you can start taking them the last couple of days of taking your antibiotics, but don't take them at the same time. Antibiotics kill bacteria. Probiotics are good bacteria. So you either want to take them after your course for antibiotics or take them at a separate time in the day from when you're taking your antibiotics. And then the prebiotics, this is not an essential supplement. Prebiotic basically means what bacteria feeds on. So you can just eat prebiotic foods, but just for an additional kind of layer of support, you can have a prebiotic supplement. I personally needed to have Imodium to kind of stop me from going to the toilet, which is after the antibiotics wiped my digestive tract. And then also I got some electrolyte supplements just to help me rehydrate. But these are the supplements that I have taken to get me back on my feet and also to help my recovery post-surgery. I will leave the list below for you guys, and I will leave a couple of articles that you can reference as well, and I hope that you find that helpful. I completely forgot to tell you guys earlier when I went and got my dressings changed. Obviously, they took my old dressings off, which meant that was the first time I saw my body without it being covered in dressings and bandages. So I filmed my reaction. Here's my reaction to me seeing my new body for the first time. Okay, so just had the dressings removed. I literally haven't seen what it looked like without the dressings yet. There's a mirror in front of me, so I'm going to get up and have a little bit of a look. So literally live reaction video. It's a very neat scar, isn't it? Very, very neat scar. My midsection has literally never looked this flat. That's insane. I never literally thought my midsection could look like this. And the upper body just definitely adds to it. I was so, so happy about this. Really, really impressed actually with the belly button. Looks very realistic. So super, super pleased, super impressed. What I'm going to do is probably take a photo for you guys, but I'll censor it just so that you don't see everything. So, there we have it. I don't know really what to say. Like, I'm genuinely speechless because whilst I was like looking at myself without the dressings, finally got to see what my physique looked like. My stomach is completely flat. I have boobs and not sacks of skin. Like, I was looking at Nathan, I was like, is this is what was under there the whole time, as in like under my loose skin? I mean, the breast implants are amazing. There's a lot of fullness. It makes me feel more feminine. But like my stomach, like I've spent years and years and years and years chasing having a physique that looked very athletic, and it was there all along, but it was just covered by a lot of loose skin. And I think like we just keep laughing at the fact that like it looks like this. And I didn't have any lipo. I didn't have my abs, you know, sewn back together. It was literally just loose skin removed, and I look completely different. Like, if it was feasible for me, you know, 2 years ago, I wish I'd done it then. It wasn't feasible until now, but like, it hasn't settled yet. The scars are still healing. There's still like inflammation and swelling, but I genuinely know that this is probably one of the best decisions and best investments I've ever made in my life. So yeah, I'm just a bit shook. Like, I still don't recognize myself looking at myself in the mirror. It's like something that requires years and years and years and years of work has just happened. But also this isn't achievable through years and years of work. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm super impressed. I can't wait to see how my results develop as I heal, and I'm just going to keep updating you guys. So very, very excited to take you through the next update. Please show some love and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can keep up to date with my journey through my recovery after my breast augmentation and tummy tuck. Sending you guys lots of love. Thank you for tuning in.